Hey, it's Rachel Cooke, your modern mentor. I'm the founder of Lead Above Noise, where we help leaders design work so that results, wellness, and engagement can all thrive together. If the leaders in your organization are interested in exploring how small tweaks, well sequenced, can really change the game, then head over to leadabovenoise.com/connect. Submit a form and we'll get on a call and talk about how a program or a talk can really equip and empower your leaders to create change. Okay, on to the episode. So I was chatting with my brother recently about the collection of 7 parents or parent-like people we have in our lives. You know, every one of those 7 ultimately retired or plans to retire from the same job they started at. Every single one. It sounds almost bonkers today, but for them and their peers, this was the norm. Once upon a time, work was a place fueled by loyalty, and that loyalty went in both directions, as in a person took a job and that person expected, barring any really bad behavior or performance, to keep that job indefinitely. And on the flip side, the organization expected, again, barring disaster, that that person would just stay. Always. And this two-way, unwritten loyalty was known as the psychological contract. And that contract is looking really super different today in 2025. We look around and we all see that layoffs and reorgs are the new normal. Companies aren't promising lifelong careers anymore. And in exchange, employees aren't promising to spend entire careers with a single employer. We can debate whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. I kind of think it's both. But either way, it certainly is a thing. But wherever you fall in your assessment, I want you to feel and to be empowered in your career, to never feel victim or caught off guard by your company's decisions. Too many of us today are quietly quitting or cracking, like checking out or doing the bare minimum to keep the train on the tracks. And I'd love us all to swap this strategy for a better one, for one that keeps you growing and winning, even if you're feeling unsettled about your job security. It's about how you're spending your time at work, because you do have deliverables or outcomes that are non-negotiable. But how you achieve them, there's always some wiggle room. So if you gotta do the work anyway, can we talk about ways to spend your time so you're gaining just as much as your employer is from your efforts? Okay, here are a few ideas. First, build skills through the work you already have. Identify a skill you want to develop. Maybe it's coding or public speaking, using AI. Whatever it is, just choose it. Then find ways to combine learning and practicing it inside the bounds of your current work. Learning has become so democratized that even without budget or much time to step away, there are podcasts and talks and digital tools that are always available to feed you even just small bits of info. You do not need to master something overnight. You just need to consume small bites that make you a little bit smarter. As you learned, find ways to practice. Like maybe you've been honing your storytelling skills and now you want to road test them. So offer to lead a team meeting or present at a town hall and sneak in a quick anecdote just to see how it lands. Maybe you want to become an AI master. So find some wonky people to follow, collect some tips, and then start playing around with them. Then, where you're allowed within company policy, start playing with it at work. If there are concerns about privacy or data, no worries. You can use it in playful ways, like to help structure a brainstorm or a challenge that your team has an appetite to solve. The key is to blend learning with doing in the rhythm of your work. Use quick, scrappy resources to learn just enough, and then treat your daily work as a lab where you put that knowledge to the test. That mix of consuming and applying is what builds real capability. Next, use your job as a platform to grow your network. Networks don't build themselves, but they're priceless to have and they are worth the effort required to grow. So use the role that you have right now as a springboard for connection. Who in your company or industry is a step or two ahead of where you are? Reach out to them with a question. Invite them to share how they approached a challenge or ask about their career journey. People are more generous with your time than you might think they'd be. And don't wait for a formal event or a networking mixer. The work you're already doing is a perfect conversation starter. You can reach out and say, hey, I'm working on this project, and I'd love to hear how you've tackled something similar. Not only do you get practical ideas, but you build relationships that make you more visible and prepared for what comes next. And if you have aspirations in following in their footsteps, gently let them know. I don't mean like, hey, will you hire me? But more like, wow, this is so interesting, and I'm looking forward to moving in this direction in the coming years. If you come across any events or articles you think might be helpful, would you be willing to share? It's not a hard ask, but it's a way of letting them know you want to stay in touch. Next, find ways to lead with or without a title. Leadership cred is one of the strongest signals of career growth. But the great conundrum, of course, is that you need leadership experience to get the title. But you need the title to get the experience. It's a little exhausting. So let's get you some experience. Title be damned. Look around and ask, what can I lead? If not a team, maybe it's a cross-functional project, or an employee resource group, or some kind of volunteer initiative. It could even be something small, like starting a Slack channel for peer coaching or hosting a monthly discussion on industry trends. The point is not the size of the platform. It's the chance to show you can mobilize people, shape conversations, and drive outcomes. This builds a track record others will remember inside your current company and beyond. And finally, shape your personal brand. As you build these skills, as you grow your network and take on leadership opportunities, don't keep it on the down low. That doesn't mean broadcasting "hire me" to the world, but it means being intentional about sharing what you're up to, what you're thinking about and learning, exploring and building. Maybe it's posting a reflection on LinkedIn about a skill you just practiced, or giving credit to a teammate who taught you something valuable. Maybe it's starting conversations in your professional circles about the trends you're seeing. The more out loud you are about your journey, the more you shape how others perceive your strengths and potential. And that reputation can open doors when new opportunities arise. Jobs aren't forever. There are no longer any guarantees. But by being intentional in how you use your time, build your skills, grow your network, show leadership, and shape your brand, you turn the work in front of you into an investment in your future. It's like getting paid for an education. You're not just doing the job, you're designing your career. You can follow Modern Mentor on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Find and follow me on LinkedIn. Thanks so much for listening and have a successful week. Modern Mentor is a quick and dirty tips podcast. Thanks to the QDT team, audio engineer Dan Firebend, director of podcasts Holly Hutchings, ad operations specialist Morgan Christensen, marketing manager Rebecca Sebastian, and our marketing contractor Nat Hoops.